China may be using the sea to hide its submarines. Welcome back to the latest episode of Laugh While the World Burns. Because as society melts down all around us, we still need to find something to laugh about. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, click the bell, and select all notifications so you don't miss any future episodes. Experts are asking whether milk is racist as part of a taxpayer-funded research project into connections between milk and colonialism. History of Science Museum in Oxford will research political nature of milk. Yep, that's 100% right. World's largest pilot union calls to eliminate terms cockpit, manpower, and other masculine generalizations for equity. Just another reason not to fly. The Secret Service watching a guy crawl on the most obvious roof and line up a shot. I'm starting to think they were just trying to help. Yep, and we know what that got them. Politicians posting pictures to show they do everyday things like us. Hi, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Ray. I've been trucking for 6 whole weeks. I just became a trainer yesterday. Yep, and this is why most of the time, when a big rig causes a wreck, it usually says on the side of it. In retrospect, this guy actually done pretty good. The truck's still sitting on its wheels. Could you just imagine working any kind of a job for only 6 weeks, and now you're the instructor? When you take the country downhill so fast, they put you on a ski team. We gotta get the last of the Biden memes in while we still can, because everything's shifting toward Camilla now, and thankfully for us, there'll be so many more memes. If AI takes over, I hope this little guy is the leader. If you know who this guy is, or what app he came from, hit that like button. Remember guys, always be prepared to do what's necessary to protect yourself and your family. Like this guy. OceanGate co-founder is organizing a trip to a 663 feet deep, unexplored sinkhole in the Bahamas. I guess it's time for the annual billionaire sacrifice to the sea gods. The White House. We're unable to track $6.2 billion sent to Ukraine. California. We're unable to track $24 billion spent to combat homelessness. The Pentagon. We're unable to track $2.3 trillion of military spending. The U.S. Treasury. We're unable to track $5 trillion of spending. The Illegal Robbery Service. We know you sent $601.57 to your friend. You better report it, or you're going to jail. Yep, but just remember guys, we're the freest nation on earth. If you trust the government, you obviously had a bad history teacher. Homeschool your kids, folks, because they're certainly never gonna hear the truth from today's government schools. Ukraine to be told it is too corrupt to join NATO. As if they're only figuring this out now, after the US has poured billions of dollars into Ukraine. I get paid tomorrow. Bills. No, I get paid tomorrow. Sadly, this is very true, and they just keep getting higher every single month. If you are ever feeling down on yourself, just remember, there are still people doing this. It's true. Middle of a sentence approaches. Kamala Harris. No thanks. I support the government. This might just be a meme, but it is actually very true. When you get a notice that your obvious joke has been fact-checked. Are you stupid or something? This actually happens to a lot of memes. I've had it happen to me. The party that called Trump, the guy that ruined a perfectly good mustache, for 8 years, shocked as someone tries to unalive him. This might be the Babylon Bee, but these days, their parody news has far more truth to it than anything you'll see on mainstream media. If you truly understand this meme, then you know the truth. Vegans, when they find out water has living microorganisms in it. I guarantee you, out there, somewhere, there's a group of vegans that only drinks distilled water. Biden's speech according to the news. Biden's speech. And most people still think this is the same guy, just because that's what they're told. Mars Wrigley fined after workers fall into vat of chocolate. Sounds like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory in real life. Whenever the government tells me I'm not allowed to do something, the very fact that you oppose this makes me think I'm onto something. California fast food restaurants have cut 10,000 jobs since passing $20 minimum wage. Who would have ever thought that such a thing would happen? But at the end of the day, it's always the small businesses that are the real targets of such actions. Taylor taking her new album for a walk. On a past episode, one of my viewers left this comment. Remember Alex Murphy, aka RoboCop? Well, Alex had a rough moment in life and decided to make some changes to keep up with the times. You should now address her as Alexa. What do you think the chances are, guys? That this is really where they got the name Alexa. It really wouldn't surprise me. There isn't anything that these companies do that isn't part of some agenda. Second Olympic boxer who failed gender test dominates female fighter in Paris. Gee, who would have ever thought that that could happen? Chicago-style gingerbread house. Social media has taught me a few things. First, there are some incredibly brilliant people in the world. Second, they are greatly outnumbered. Actually, no. Shall not be infringed is pretty clear. Me in 2049 at the FEMA reprogramming camp because I tried to buy real meat from an undercover Fed and won't acknowledge more than 2 genders. You know, we make memes about this stuff right now, but if things continue like they are, it ain't gonna be no 2049. People might laugh about that, and they say things like, "You're crazy, that'll never happen." Well, if someone had told you back in year 2000 about all the things that's happening right now, what would you have told them? When the beat drops harder than you expected. U.S. children speaking in British accents because of Peppa Pig. This is what y'all look like when you defend taxation. This is true. You wouldn't think these days that this would need to be said. But these type people are also the reason why we have warning labels on everything. Daily Wire before. Facts don't care about your feelings. Daily Wire today. Saying Christ is King is offensive. People in the 1960s. I better watch what I say, or the government might wiretap my house. People today. Hey Wiretap, do you have a recipe for pancakes? This is 100% true. At this point, I'm convinced if there was a zombie outbreak, the left would become zombie activists. Haven't you heard? The zombie apocalypse has already happened. The Walking Dead are everywhere, but they mostly seem to mass around major cities. Just another reason to get out of the cities while you still can. We need a much bigger government. OMG! The power of the government is being used against me. Housing is a right. Agreed. Let's abolish property tax. Action. Touch something too hot. Response. Stop touching it. Action. Print money causing inflation. Response. Print more money to fight rising prices. It's not an accident, and it's not stupidity. It is all being done on purpose. How we imagined AI 40 years ago. How it's going. El Salvador president gathers entire executive branch together to inform them that they're all under investigation for corruption. U.S. citizens. You're against taxation without representation. I'm against taxation. We are not the same. We have no representation for our taxation. All the income taxes that the government collected for last year did not even fully pay the interest on the so-called national debt, which should be called government debt. Who are you? You funded both sides of a war in my country. Do you have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down? Sadly, this is very true, and a lot of the people here in the U.S. don't have the slightest clue. A group of undercover Detroit police, posing as substance dealers, tried to arrest another group of undercover police, posing as substance buyers. Wealth inequality in socialist countries. Wealth inequality in capitalist countries. Flame-throwing robot dog that can shoot fire up to 30 feet goes on sale in U.S. I'll be honest, I'd love to have one of these. When I get a big brush pile that needs burned, I'd definitely use this. The U.S. dollar isn't backed by anything. What actually backs the U.S. dollar? This is actually very true, or at least it has been in the past. But there's so many nations now that are so fed up with the U.S. because of the things that the U.S. government and military has done to them, that they've dumped all of their dollar assets anyway, and are trading, buying, and selling all kinds of goods outside the dollar, including oil and a lot of other resources. Mainstream media reports on anything. My immediate reaction. The IRS when you buy stock, your risk. The IRS when you sell stock, our profit. Here is a group photo of every politician that is willing to go enlist to fight in a war they voted for. Yep, fact check true. Man robbed of gun at gunpoint, guns down gun robber with spare gun. The dude getting mugged. I'm gonna do what's called a pro-gamer move. Republicans, Democrats, 35 trillion in debt, and endless wars. World War III starts. Feminist. Voluntarism, monarchism, capitalism, socialism, communism, globalism. Yes, fact check true. Where do you see a car in your neighborhood with California plates? This would be true, but I can happily say that I can't remember the last time I saw a vehicle around here with California plates. The NSA collects enough data to know where your girlfriend wants to eat. This is supposed to be just a funny meme, but I'd say that it's true. What do you mean they missed? Sorry, can't today. I'm busy watching the season finale of the United States. Feminism in movies. Feminism in reality. Amazon's profits. Jeff Bezos. Greedy warehouse workers who need to use the bathroom. I'm sure there's some of the media that tried to spin it this way. We have to protect our democracy. Let's pass a law that only counts legal votes. And I'll end this episode with this. I'm so old, I can remember when the only fake news was the National Enquirer. Please consider hitting that like button and share the video with your friends, family, and social media. I thank you all for watching. Take care, stay safe. This is Akorn. Over and out.
So why didn't I flinch? Because the laws of science differ fundamentally from those of...